Hi everyone, here's Baal from Hell-Born and Damnation, and you're listening to the Dan Chan Show.
I am joined by Adam from Hell-Born. How are you doing this evening, sir?
Very good. How are you?
Very well, thanks for asking. You're in, so you're northern Poland, Gdynia, right? That's right. That's how I pronounce it.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
And what's as being British, I have to ask what the weather's like. What's the weather like at the moment? Is it starting to get spring-like, or is it still cold?
You know what? It is getting spring-like, but when the sun is on, like when it's shining,
Yeah, yeah.
it's getting pretty warm and nice, but the air is like freezing
Right.
still.
Yeah, yeah,
When
yeah.
I'm walking out the dogs like late at night, I'm wearing my hat and sometimes gloves even. So yeah, it's cold still.
Yeah. And that's the reason I moved. I moved to Barcelona 7 years ago. It's got 22 degrees now because I'm English and the weather's so poor there. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
nice and warm. But I do appreciate the cold sometimes. Anyway, let's get into it. I want to talk about. I want to get focused on Hellborn because you got so much to talk about. And I want to go into this fact that you got these two treats for us. You know, you're releasing this new album, Seven. And at the same time, you're
Yeah.
re-releasing your classic self-titled 1996 mini album on all formats for the first time. It's very busy for Hellborn. Let's start
Right.
with the new album. It's your first album since 2021's Nataslia, and
Yeah.
you've called it apocalyptic, ominous, and complex. Tell me about this album, and when are we going to expect it?
Right.
Because I can't see anything out there yet.
Yeah, we are still like waiting. The premiere is going on. We've just received the final version of one of the two lyrics videos that
Cool.
gonna promote the album,
Yeah,
and it's gonna get on like Spotify and stuff like pretty soon, like any day, I hope.
yeah,
Like the physical copies, the CDs and LPs and everything else, they are probably gonna get on the market like before summer or early summer, something like that.
okay.
I hope as well. But these are more questions like towards Audium Records. I can tell you about what's on the album.
Well, let's go into that.
So yeah,
Let's talk about the writing and the recording process. It's been 5 years since you last released. I know you did a split recently.
yeah,
So
yeah.
tell me
First of
how
all,
you know.
first of all, the reason for that period being so long is that our drummer suffered a heart attack in the meantime.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so like we've been off for a year and a half, like unable to do anything.
Right.
And we've just decided, because the record was out, and the reception was quite good, and there was just right about time to start playing more shows and stuff. But at that time I was unable to do so myself personally because of my other commitments, like sports related and stuff, because I was handling my lifters on competitions, I was judging and stuff like that. I was very, very busy, so I couldn't find time to play live. Now it's changed, like, luckily. But back then, that was the thing. But most of all, it was our drummer, diabolizer. He just suffered a heart attack, and it wasn't like it was a real deal. Basically his wife saved his life. They were waiting like very long to find a hospital. It was still like the COVID era, so it was sick. It was totally crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, luckily he's back. He's pounding his drums again, and yeah. So it took pretty long. We've recorded the album spring summer of last year,
Yeah.
25. So now, like, we didn't push it, to be honest, with like when it should be out.
Yeah.
We were working on the layout to be like spot on, because yeah, like getting back to what you've mentioned, like the terms that we've used online to describe this album, they are pretty accurate. I mean, I'm not that type of person that, you know, speaks big words about my own work. However, this time I can tell, like, I was actually answering this interview this day, and that was a similar question about Nataslia, and if I'm satisfied with what I have achieved. And I've said, like, I'm never like 100% satisfied, because I'm always pursuing something different, something more. I want to see some change. I want to play with you know, with different sounds and stuff, and you know, with different writing,
Yeah.
different arrangements. I wanted to tell different stories, whatever. So it's a constant process of, you know, exposing yourself, like, so to speak.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's never like a final, like a satisfaction and I'm done. It's not like that. But I said that at that very moment, when each of our album was out, actually, what we did back then was representing 100% of what we wanted to do, what we could do
Yeah.
at that precise time.
Hmm.
So the same goes with this album. It did not go like, I'm still in that mental state
Yeah.
where I was recording it and stuff like that. I wanted some things to sound different. I've chosen a different bass tune, because I was lower before, and right now I'm tuned like with the guitars. However, still achieved some pretty decent low frequencies, and they
Yeah.
they they pre, they get pretty well with the guitar work and stuff like that. And I wanted to do a concept album,
Okay.
and the main topic of this concept would obviously be the apocalypse, the the symbolic behind the number seven, like the seven-pointed star of Babylon, the great whore, and you know, the seventh seal that, you know, spawns the apocalypse upon the world and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Giving it, like, it is kind of a twisted biblical tale, because I'm presenting God and those, like, you know, those forces behind, like, the ultimate enemy of mankind, and obviously the other side, like the outcast, fallen angels, you
Yeah.
know, Satan with everything else. These are actually like the real supporters and friends, so to speak, of the human species, and so forth. So yeah, I'm going into like topics like that. So it is, you know, you get titles like, you know, funeral of all and stuff like that. So it's like pretty. I wouldn't say it's a depressive album, because it's very like energetic and powerful. However, going through some of the lyrics, you might find that there is not much, you know, hope and sunshine
Right.
there.
Yeah. I would have expected it.
Yeah.
That's really good because you kind of answered three questions. You want about the evolution of your writing and stuff like that, and you've covered the lyrical themes as well. You know, your lyrics have covered, you know, my favorite topic over the years. That's why I probably tapped into black metal is the anti-religion theme, which I love. You know, I love hearing this. You know, I love all the imagery and everything. And has your opinion changed on religion heavily over the years? You know, are you still vehement in your views these days as you were back in the day?
Not that much, you know. I mean, um, I I've never considered myself if I was asked, for example, if I am a Satanist, I never gave like if it was for real, like a serious conversation, I
Yeah,
never gave like a straight answer, like yes, I am, or no, I'm not,
yeah,
because it was always needed to put something in perspective. So my question back was like, how are we gonna define that?
mm, mm-hmm.
And upon that, we can decide if I'm not of or if I am, right? But I'm I'm obviously an anti-religious person. I mean, I deeply respect other beliefs and you know, but the institutionalized tools of control, oppression, and terror. Let's be honest and just
Mm,
name it,
mm,
because these are the things that were done under the sign of the cross and not the cross only.
mm.
If you look upon our history, it was territory, resources, yes, of course, but I think that religion leads in numbers in body count.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And lately as well.
So, so you know, and like I'm not having this like very precise thoughts about, you know, where do we come from, like
No.
what's our purpose here and stuff like that. With 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 time, I got more into like the Schrodinger's idea
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
of
Yeah.
like the one mind behind the whole thing, like the big thing,
Hmm.
like the one mind that expands into everything that exists in the whole universe, everything just being like a play or something, and we are just, you know, experiencing something. We have this, you know, the concept of the soul itself i- is so complicated. There's to me there is no final answer
Mm.
in, you know, to those things, to those questions, about what the soul really is, and you know what makes us so unique, um, and yet, you know, just so similar to
Mm.
other beasts
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
that you know, populate this planet, and I believe millions of other places like in the universe. Just, you know, the idea, the concept of us being, you know, those chosen children of God, you know, with the only intelligent living creatures blessed with a soul, with an immortal soul, like in the whole wide universe, it never had appealed to me, you
Mm,
know.
mm, 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 mm.
I was too much into asking questions, into digging holes and looking for, you know, I was never satisfied with what I was given.
Yeah, I suppose in Poland as well.
Even
There's
as a
so much.
kid.
Poland's such a Catholic country, right? I mean, the
Yes,
outside of
yes,
Italy, the most probably,
yes,
and
yes.
that must have had you must have gone completely the opposite way to that. because next door you got Czech Republic, Czechia, who is probably the most atheist European country in
Yeah,
Europe.
right.
So
These are like historical events that made this so. I believe that, like, the reason for Poland being the way we are now, and now it's changing a bit.
mm,
But if you go outside, big cities, where everything is already, you know, there's big business everywhere and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
So that's changed. But if you go, like, to the countryside, smaller towns and stuff like that, especially like more on the west of the country, I mean east,
yeah,
excuse me, you find like the same the same amount of religious people, the same influence of the Catholic Church, and so on. And I believe that the reason for that being so is that the church took part in the rebellion against communism,
hmm hmm
and of course the second thing being the Pope,
hmm yeah,
the Polish Pope, who turned out to be, like, a pretty shady figure in terms of, child molesting and
yeah,
stuff like that.
hmm
So, but there are people here that wouldn't believe that, even if you show them,
yeah,
documents and stuff. They would say those are fabricated, and they wouldn't believe.
like MAGAs, right?
Right, yeah. Yeah, so
Yeah, I get it. I
that's
get
how
it.
it is. So I believe that the strong position of the Catholic Church is the result of what happened, like, after the Second World War, and
Mm,
when communism took over in Poland, and what kind of role played the church,
yeah,
in that term.
got
So
it.
that's it.
Yeah, get it. So let's go back to the music side with regards to this re-release of your self-titled mini album. What made you want to give this a new lease of life? Was it just for the formats? Was it just to give it the
It was
time of day?
it you know it was brought back with Hellblast.
Right.
I mean, not the whole thing, because the destruction cover, Antichrist, wasn't there. Um, but still, we wanted to bring it back, like, with the original layout and stuff. This is, to be honest, this is our response to the requests of the fans,
Got you. Yeah.
because they still want, those songs be played live.
Yeah.
And and basically it is almost impossible to get this mini album these days. So
Mm,
it's gonna be like an opportunity uh to the, I don't know, younger public, maybe, whatever, to get familiar
yeah.
with this material, and to present it. First of all, it's awesome that it's gonna be finally released on vinyl,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
because it looks awesome, it sounds awesome, and it's like, it's big and cool.
Yeah. 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 Of
So
course.
looking forward to that,
So
really.
let's think about the fans probably seeing you as this cult band. Do you like being called a cult band?
You know what? One of the reasons that I didn't stay with Behemoth was that I was a totally anti rock star type of person.
Mm-hmm.
I was pretty, laid back and stuff. I mean, I was more of a type, like a domestic type of person,
Right.
so to speak. And you know, I've enjoyed playing. I've enjoyed the energy of the music, and I was when I was dealing with the sounds and with making this music and then playing it. I was in a kind of a state that was unachievable in another way, and I loved it.
Mm.
But I didn't like the rest of it, and I've never felt like musicians or whatever being you know different people. I mean, you have a talent and you have something to tell to
Yeah.
the people.
Yeah.
You think that you have something important to communicate, so you do. But still, I mean, I feel like I'm not feeling different from the people that are down there,
Yeah.
like in front of the stage. So, well, I know my place, like in the history of Polish metal music.
Sure. Sure.
I'm aware of the fact that I was participating in bringing the black metal genre to this country and making it grow and stuff like that. Mm, with Behemoth, with Hell-Born, with Damnation.
Yeah.
But I don't take some crazy pride in that. I mean, I'm just thinking about it as a part of my life. When we did something, I think the reason for us being called a cult band and stuff like that is because we were always honest with what we did.
Right. Right.
We didn't try to, look like someone, sound like someone,
Mm. Mm-hmm.
whatever. We've decided to be like, let it flow, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
What we feel is what we play.
Yeah.
What we have inside of us is what we play. If people enjoy it and people appreciate it,
Mm.
people appreciate it, people appreciate us being honest.
Sure.
That I think is the main reason for still having uh, quite a few people during shows with awesome comments on our social media and live after shows when you talk to people. Funny thing though, this weekend when we've played in Torun, there was this young dude who was like was going crazy all along the set list, and after the show he came for some autographs and stuff, and he showed up with some behemoth stuff, and he just told me that he told me I couldn't miss this opportunity because last time when you guys played here, I couldn't speak. I was a toddler.
There you go. You see, that's the reason why you're releasing, the self-titled mini LP, right? That's the reason why, to give them a chance. Can I just tap into the
Yeah.
Behemoth thing? What's your relationship with Behemoth guys? Obviously, Nurgle is the antithesis of what you've just said about not wanting to be that rock star, because he has gone to a big level.
Yeah.
We know he's
Yeah.
pushed Behemoth like a complete commercial project. What he does is brilliant. He's marketed it
Yes, it
brilliantly.
is.
And
I'm
obviously,
totally agreed.
you had him on
Totally
them, but you
agreed.
had him on the black metal track on the last album as well.
Yeah.
And you obviously live near him as well, because I think he's got a place in Sopot, right, in the north.
Well,
So
yeah, yeah,
how's your relationship?
he's got a place in Sobot. I mean, I would say we have a very, very decent relationship. We've talked through, like, the things of the past. We left that, where it belongs,
Yeah.
which is in the past, and everyone just moved on. What they did with the band, which obviously is most of all the doing of Nergal himself,
Sure. Mm.
of his resilience, and of his drive, and incredible amounts of energy, creative energy, ideas, ability to see the market, and to do things that still you know that still are theirs, that
Mm.
still are original.
Mm-mm.
However, they match perfectly what's going on the market at the very moment.
Yeah.
So it is an ability. It is a set skill that Nergal obviously possesses, and I have nothing but the utmost respect for the guys, because I know for fact how hard
Mm.
they've worked to achieve like the spot they're at
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
They've toured Northern America with a cargo van with a window broken on winter. They were playing shows for free, eating nothing and stuff like that, washing themselves on gas stations and stuff like that. They did all of that.
Mm.
So they did the hard work. They
Mm.
did their share.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So, and
Fair
you
play.
gotta and you gotta respect that, because this is just tons of hard work.
Sure.
And we still remain in touch. We are friends. Like you've mentioned, Nergal recorded some backing vocals for one of our tracks on our previous album. Actually, funny thing, because I've I've spotted some criticism over the song on the internet, with it being, like, cheesy and cliche and stuff like that, and people didn't get it, that it was supposed to be a little bit like that,
Right.
because we were telling a story that was ours,
Yeah. Yeah.
that
Interesting.
was something of our own. I wanted to get back to the feeling when I was, like, 17, 18 years old, and we were starting, playing music is a big word, but
Yeah.
we tried to produce some sounds to express ourselves, and things like that. So that was a sort of like a maybe naive, in a way, retrospective, trying to get into the feeling that you have, being like a teenager, so obsessed with something, and
Yeah.
and that was what the song was all about. Someone took it too seriously, I guess, but I don't care, really.
That's brilliant. That's good. Good info. Tell me about what your opinion is on the black metal scene right now. How do you feel? Do you have time to listen to new music, death metal, black metal? Do you have you got your finger on the pulse, or do you kind of like not bother?
You know what? To be honest, there are bands that try, at least try, to bring up something original, and they do not force it. I kind of got that feeling that black metal black metal became something very, very um I would say, like, trans stylish, or pan stylish, because black metal started to merge with other, like, people seem to take just the part that is connected with the ideas more than music itself.
Yeah, yeah,
So right these days we have music that is not quite metal at all,
right.
but they call themselves black metal bands. So,
I know what you
you
mean.
know, obviously we were raised like on something different, like, black metal to us. My first thought when I'm saying those words, I'm seeing the cover of the Venom album,
Yeah, yeah,
and that is black metal to me. Then I was introduced, and I had to embrace this new concept of black metal, because when bands like, I don't know, Blasphemy or Behemoth or whatever, they were starting, they weren't using that term.
mm, mm, mm. Interesting.
Was they didn't call their music that way. It came just a few moments later, like with the second wave of black metal, so to speak, with what's spawned from Norway, right?
Yeah, yeah.
There was a very influential scene. And by the way, I have this thought, because that scene, there was a book. I'm sorry, but I don't remember the name of the author was Daniel, but I forgot his family name. Well, the title of the book was Swedish Death Metal.
Right.
It's a very, very good book, and it showed that at some point the scene started to getting more radical and extreme and stuff like that. And I believe that Euronymous and his friends, they took a lot from sadistic execution.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Really,
yeah, yeah.
really, because they took it to even higher extremes with many things, with the church burnings and the killings and stuff like that. I mean, that was crazy. That went like rampage, totally, and it changed the metal scene,
Sure.
like, no doubt about it.
Mm, mm, mm.
However, getting back to the question, there are bands like, in Poland we have a couple that is like, if you treat, you know to if someone calls themselves a black metal band, I respect that, and I'm cool with that. But I can give you like two names. One is Terrestrial Hospice,
Right.
that is Inferno, and
Yeah,
Paimon
yeah,
from
yeah,
Thunderbolt, and many others. There is also Towards Hellfire,
yeah.
and that is actually a band by our guitar player Rambo, and our drummer, and they play that music the right way, how it's supposed to be
Yeah,
played.
yeah, yeah.
So that
Love that.
is my personal opinion.
Yeah.
Uh, you know, I try to keep up with the new stuff. Um, just a couple of days ago, I was absolutely blown away, and just squashed into the floor with the new Immolation album.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, it's good.
Oh
It's good.
man,
It is
what
good.
a masterpiece!
Yeah, it is good.
What a masterpiece! This is something amazing.
Yeah.
Being like, so many years. This is really, really, really awesome. if I get to meet, the guys in person, like at any time soon, I'll just, give them my hats off, because this is an amazing album.
Yeah, it's
It's
a
really
really good album.
amazing. So I try to keep up with the new
Yeah,
stuff, but and I listen to a lot of types of music. Like, metal is not like
sure,
100% my thing.
sure. What else? You got to give us a
What
taste.
else? Oh well, with heavier sounds, I'm a big fan of, stoner sludge music,
Yeah,
stuff like that. Obviously, it's like, classic thrash metal, heavy metal. I'm a huge Manowar fan,
yeah.
always been. Love this band, but I listen to more, let's say, rock bands or prog rock bands, starting with Pink Floyd, King Crimson. I
Class.
love them.
Yeah,
Rush, obviously. That is this funny thing, because I've never enjoyed Dream Theater that much, and we were like having those conversations, but you like Rush, so they are like, it's almost the same, and I said no. But when Rush writes songs, they try to write good songs that show how good they play.
hmm.
And when Dream Theater writes songs, they want to show how
But
awesome they
yeah,
play,
yeah,
and
yeah.
they do not pay attention about those songs being like, cool songs.
Hmm.
That was my problem with Dream Theater. It was too much show.
Mm,
However, I respect the musicianship, of course,
of course.
which is absolutely amazing. But to me, it didn't, it missed this thought of music being just, good songs in the first place.
Got you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I understand. I understand that. It's too
So yeah.
technicality. Who do you think is the next legacy band, Adam? Bearing in mind, who we're going to be taking our grandkids or great grandkids to go and see in the future at stadiums. Do you think stadium bands are going to finish? Do you think there's anyone coming through, or do you think we're going to cap it at arenas with the likes of maybe Ghost and bands like that? What was your opinion?
I don't know, man. Really, it's changed so
Sure,
much.
sure, sure.
I mean, the 90s belonged to rock music.
Yeah.
you know, the stadiums were full with shows of, bands like Guns N'
Mm,
Roses,
Metallica.
Queen,
Mm,
whatever, with heavier sounds.
yeah.
It is, Metallica and stuff like that. Um, so yeah, we've been through some stages,
Yeah.
the internet, and the social media, the streaming services, it changed things.
Sure.
It
Absolutely.
changed things,
Yeah.
and I think that there is this division already, and I think that we are actually living it, with big shows
Mm,
left for the biggest of the biggest, for the top bands. They are able to, pull off something really huge like Rammstein does, or something like that, and the rest is gonna be, I don't know, festivals and club
yeah.
shows,
Yeah. 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 I think you're right.
something like that.
Yeah. I
I
think
I
you're right.
I I I can't imagine rock music, classic rock music, based on, drums and distorted guitar sound. It's basically rock music and high pitched vocals, and choruses to sing along. that music, that spot on the whole music scene was overtaken by different
Yeah,
type,
yeah,
by
I get that.
different.
So sticking with that, then, how prolific have I see you got some shows lined up. Can you tell me what's coming up for you guys? You got the Damnation shows as well coming up in the summer.
Yeah,
What's
yeah. This
how
this
busy are
year,
you?
this year, this year's gonna be busy actually.
Yeah,
We've just started, and it was just a tiny bit of what's ahead of us. We are playing in Poznan in a couple of weeks with
yeah,
Damnation.
yeah,
Then we're gonna have some two festivals with Damnation. One of them being Mystic Festival in Gdańsk, Poland,
yeah.
which is a huge one. We are having another festival in Olsztyn. That's Vader's hometown. So yeah, we are playing there, and then it's like a couple of shows with Merciless from France, and that's gonna be Hell-Born.
Yeah.
Then we are touring with Hate
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
in Poland, and it's gonna be like um, whole November.
Yeah. Brilliant. Brilliant.
So yeah, and then we have a couple of shows in December with Hellborn.
Yeah.
That sums up this year, and next year is going to be pretty busy as well, and I believe it's going to be busy for both bands.
How busy have you ever had a double duty with Damnation and Hellborn ever? Same day, same festival?
Um, Actually, we did that like um shortly after the reunion, after
Right.
we recorded Hellblast.
Yeah.
That was the first shows that I did playing bass and doing vocals. And Damnation went on this tour with Hellborn, and I was doing like two shows each day as a lead singer. That didn't turn out to pretty good. Wasn't a good idea. Yeah, I got into
I can
serious
imagine.
problems
Yeah. Yeah.
with my throat. So yeah, never did that again, and I probably never will. I don't know. Maybe if it's gonna be like a 2 day festival, so one band one day and the other band the other day, that could work.
Yeah. Yeah.
For one day, you know what? I
It's a bit
mean,
much.
I gotta keep in mind that I'm fucking 50 years old, man.
You're not yet. I'm 1 year. I'm thinking it's a few months between me and you, Adam, and we're not
All
50
right.
yet. I'm like
So
77.
76.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're 77. I'm
Yeah.
76. So I'm turning 50 this July.
So you're about 15 months older than me, but yeah, we're in the same zone here.
All right. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I
So you
understand. I
kind of,
mean, if double
so you
duty,
kind of, you kind of can relate to how the human body works
exactly,
at different age.
exactly. Well, two things I want to say before that. Do you still enjoy the gigs? I mean, obviously you love being on stage and that. Do you still get the same thrills from it?
Yeah, yeah, I
Yeah,
do. Yeah, I
yeah,
do. I mean, I never kept that secret that I'm enjoying the creation process the most,
yeah,
which are rehearsal practices and the studio work.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
This
yeah.
is the part of music that I just love, and this is something that is the quintessence of making music to me.
Yeah.
For other people playing their music live, that's the most important thing.
Hmm.
But to me, it is the process of creating this music, of creating this whole thing, which turns into an album and that it's like everything, that is the songwriting, the arrangements, additional effects, the lyrics, the layout, the
Building it.
color,
Yeah. Yeah.
pictures, everything is an element of a certain significance, and it's so exciting to see how those pieces get put together, and then you can enjoy the thing that you had in mind like months before. Like there was this concept, this imagination of how it's gonna look and
Yeah.
sound.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then when you perform, I mean, I've never cared if I'm playing for like 50 or 500 people or whatever. It doesn't matter to me,
Mm,
because it's I'm living the sounds that we're playing.
sure.
So I'm enjoying that the same way. I
Got it.
I I I could say that, because we were inactive for like many years,
Mm,
and even after the release of Nataslia, um we didn't play much because I was just too busy with different things. And I felt like, because those two things, which is like sports in general, and just the physical aspect, it was alongside with music. These were like my two biggest hobbies, my two biggest passions. Hobby is not a good thing. It's
yeah.
much more than a hobby. It is a serious passion
Can you touch
that
into that for me, Adam? Tell us about what you
I'm
do.
unable to live without. And the proportions changed. So
Yeah.
music went like pretty low, on the ladder.
Yeah.
So um, and I feel much better right now, and much more comfortable with playing shows, and with this much going on with the bands, because I grew a little bit hungry of that.
Mm, 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 mm.
And I like that feeling. It,
Tell us
it
a
is sometimes it is sometimes good, to put something away for a while,
yeah.
and get back into it with some new energy, with some new ideas, new concepts.
Can you tell us about your powerlifting and your coaching and your
Oh yeah,
throwing? Give
sure,
us a little
man.
taste of that, because that sounds it's fascinating.
Yeah, sure, man. I was always like into some physical activity, some sports. I did like skiing since I was a kid. I did windsurfing. I did tennis. I did basketball. I started to sort of like lift weights and going to the gym. I mean, I wasn't going to the gym. I had my own set of weights at
Yeah.
home. So I was listening to heavy metal or watching, Conan the Barbarian, and I was
Yeah.
lifting
Yeah.
weights with a friend of mine, or alone, whatever. So that was something that was always present. My father actually taught me to ski. He taught me, how to perform exercises, because he was actually training for alpine skiing. He
Right.
was a competitor, and he was a track and field athlete. He
Wow.
threw javelin and discus.
Huh.
And he was just because that is this distinction, to do a sport and to work out, just go to the gym or whatever. It is a big difference when you start to compete, when you start to bring your results, against other athletes and stuff like that. That changes a lot. So, you know, I got into powerlifting, just by pure training and getting knowledge about that, because I saw for myself with my own experience and with what I was seeing in most of the gyms, that people were just training poorly. They didn't know what they were doing. They were like, you know, um, I've injured myself in most, ways that you can probably imagine or
Mm.
name. I didn't tear anything like a muscle or something, but I had, I have hernias, along my whole spine. I had knee issues, hip issues, shoulder
Shit.
issues, everything. Yeah, so, and I'm still training, I'm still competing, I'm training, track and field, I'm training discus, which isn't like, a piece of cake, because it is a very, very technical event, and still it requires, a lot of strength, speed, coordination and stuff like that. So it is very demanding,
Mm.
and I'm managing it,
Yeah.
because I've learned, a lot, how to fix myself, because no one was able to help me.
Yeah.
It was, like 2 decades ago, when I got back into training. I had this break when Hell-Born was more active and stuff, and I just, lost interest into this physical aspect. So um, in such a quantity that
Yeah.
that that went on later. Um, so I just got back after a break, and since then I I just I just needed help myself. So I've tried to find help, and I've searched online. I found, the works of coaches from, mostly from the US. However, I've discovered that their ideas and their work is based upon old Soviet methods and stuff like
Right.
that. So I've started to study it, and so forth. And at some point, I met people that, introduced me into powerlifting, and I like instantly started coaching. So I took part in some competitions just for the pure experience of it, to see, how
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like I'm not gifted towards lifting, because I'm too tall, and just, I'm built for throws, for stuff like that. With that, I'm more successful. However, I'm still like training, because I'm just needing it, and this is something I need, some portion of insanity in my life, that I'm doing something like a little bit crazy, a little bit irresponsible, a little bit, primal, so to speak.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just need this experience. I'm not a violent person, so I'm not into,
Mm.
fighting sports and
MMA.
stuff like
Yeah.
that. But I need this extreme physical self-expression, and I'm just doing it, lifting and throwing now. So yeah, I've started to throw discus at the age of 47. So it's like, just imagine that you are starting something that requires, so many physical abilities and skill set, that, I mean, I just took upon that simply because I was so overall well trained to be able to handle that.
Yeah.
I've changed like almost everything in my training. I'm not training like I was a couple of years ago
Got it.
anymore. I'm not training like that. I'm training to throw farther. and that's it.
That's cool.
So I'm doing what I need to be throwing farther. So yeah, after 1 year of training, I've competed at Polish Masters Nationals, and I was competing at the 45-50 Masters
Right.
group,
Yeah. Yeah.
because after a certain age, there's division every 5 years. So now I'm getting this year. I'm getting into the M50
Yeah.
Master division. So I'm gonna be competing against people of 50 years old and more.
Yeah.
So when I was competing for the first time, I got bronze, and next year I got gold.
Awesome. Awesome.
So yeah, and I enjoy it a lot. When it's getting warmer, I love to go like to the stadium, and just be there, just enjoy, the sun, the green everywhere, the trees, and it is something to athletics, and to those ancient events, like the discus.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You feel this strange, connection with this history of human activities,
Got
it
you.
is it is something very special, and I'm enjoying it very, very much.
Awesome. And if you want to follow Adam on his journey, you can follow you on your Instagram, which I'll be sharing on my
Yeah,
as well.
exactly. Adam Muraszko. That's my name and my family name. I go by my name.
Yeah.
I'm not ashamed of what I'm doing, and
Of
and and
course.
I'm signing and
Absolutely
I'm
not.
signing I'm signing what I'm posting with my full name.
Exactly. Well, I want to wrap this up with the fact that you've got. We just want to just bring it back to Hell-Born and bring it back to when we're expecting new music. Obviously, you said it's on the label, waiting for formats, but you said it could be very soon for a taster
Yeah,
new single.
yeah.
When do you think?
I believe that the first single's gonna hit, like, I don't know. It's more days than weeks.
Right.
Just something around that, with the albums, with the physical copies.
Yeah.
I cannot tell anything like for sure one
For
hundred
sure.
percent
Yeah.
because it's not up to us. And we just gonna promote that album as hard as we can, given the fact that we have pretty lot of shows
Yeah.
scheduled and stuff. So yeah,
Brilliant.
we're gonna definitely exploit this recording before we move on into something different, something new. And it's still Damnation
Yeah.
that needs to release an album ASAP.
Yeah. For sure. For
So
sure.
yeah, because we don't want to go that path that many bands took before, like getting back after many years of some form of
Mm,
hiatus, whatever. They're just reproducing the past, and not recording anything new. I'm not telling names. We know exactly, of bands like that they're not making new music. They're just playing their old shit, and that's it. I could enjoy that, but to me is like, there's no. I need to be creative. I need to be doing new
sure. Of
things.
course you do. Of course you do.
That's how
Well,
my brain
I
works.
love that. Well, listen, Adam, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. It's a fascinating chat and looking forward to the new music. And we'll keep in touch and I'll be playing your music when it's
Yes,
out.
sure. Thank you very much. Looking forward to that.